The Night the Stars Went Out. Chapter 1. The Last Night of Light. The world watches in horror as the stars begin to vanish from the sky, one by one. It starts subtly. Astronomers notice tiny distortions, a faint flickering in the constellations. News reports call it a rare cosmic phenomenon, dismissing concerns with scientific explanations about space dust or temporary shifts in visibility. But soon, even the untrained eye can see it happening. First, the most distant stars disappear, their twinkles blinking out like dying embers. Then, entire constellations fade from existence, leaving gaps in the sky where light had once shone for billions of years. The event is no longer a scientific curiosity, it becomes a worldwide crisis. Social media explodes with theories ranging from apocalyptic prophecies to government cover-ups. Religious leaders claim it as a sign of the end times, while skeptics struggle to rationalize the phenomenon. As fear spreads, astronomers and researchers work around the clock to understand what is happening, but no answer comes. Telescopes scan the vast emptiness where the stars once burned, only to find a chilling reality. There is nothing left. No remnants, no cosmic debris, no collapsed supernovae. It is as if the stars never existed at all. Then, one fateful night, the phenomenon accelerates. As millions of people across the world gather outside, hoping for answers, they watch in horror as the sky above them turns darker than it ever has before. The familiar patterns of Orion, the Big Dipper, and Cassiopeia vanish in an instant. The night will never be the same again. Panic erupts. Governments struggle to maintain order as people riot, demanding explanations that do not exist. Power grids remain stable, but an unshakable feeling creeps into everyone's minds. Something is terribly wrong. And then the whispers begin. They emerge from the empty sky, soft and distant, like echoes traveling across the cosmos. At first, they are brushed off as radio interference, a trick of the wind. But as the last remaining stars flicker and die, the whispers grow louder. And no one can tell where they are coming from. The world has never felt so alone, and yet something is watching. Chapter 2. Whispers in the Dark. Scientists scramble for answers, their telescopes and satellites now blind in the absence of celestial bodies. The void is complete, an unnatural darkness that no instrument can penetrate. But while the stars are silent, something else has begun to make itself heard. It starts with murmurs. At first, they are faint, a barely perceptible noise that people dismiss as background static or auditory hallucination. But then they become clearer. In the dead of night, when the world is quiet, the voices emerge. They are soft, distant, and incomprehensible. Whispered phrases that slither through the darkness like unseen tendrils. Some claim to hear their own names being spoken. Others report hearing pleas, cries for help, warnings. A few hear laughter, dry and hollow, as if something is amused by humanity's terror. The reports come from all over the world, too widespread to be a hoax, too consistent to be ignored. And then, the recordings surface. Captured on audio devices, the whispers are no longer dismissible as paranoia. Scientists analyze them, breaking them down into sound waves and frequencies, searching for a rational explanation. What they find is worse. The voices are not human. They carry a distortion, an otherworldly resonance, as if spoken through a throat that has never drawn breath. The patterns suggest intelligence, deliberate speech, not random noise. Governments impose curfews, urging people to stay indoors at night. Yet the darkness does not stay outside. Strange occurrences escalate. People wake to find doors unlocked, furniture shifted, strange symbols drawn on their walls in substances that defy analysis. And then the disappearances begin. At first, they are isolated, one or two people vanishing without a trace. No signs of forced entry, no struggles, just empty beds, unfinished meals, abandoned cars on empty roads. Then, entire families disappear overnight. Security cameras catch glimpses of something moving, shadows that flicker unnaturally, shapes that seem to shift as soon as they are seen. The whispers grow louder. The darkness is no longer just the absence of stars. It is something else entirely, something alive, and it is coming closer. Chapter 3. The Day That Never Ends. With no stars or moon, the night refuses to end, plunging the world into eternal darkness. The cycle of day and night is broken. Even in regions where the sun should rise, the sky remains black. The world is cast into an unending twilight. Cities attempt to function under artificial light, but something about the darkness is unnatural. It swallows light, making even the brightest lamps feel dim and weak. Flashlights barely illuminate more than a few feet ahead. Streetlights flicker and die out faster than they should. Power grids strain as governments order lights to remain on at all times, but the darkness continues to spread. Desperation sets in as people realize the sun itself may soon be at risk. Satellite images confirm a terrifying truth. The Earth is no longer visible from space. The planet, once a glowing blue jewel against the vastness of the cosmos, is now a void. The International Space Station, still orbiting above, sends its last transmission, a frantic warning from an astronaut who claims that something is moving in the darkness, before the feed cuts out forever. Across the world, people report seeing strange figures just beyond the reach of artificial light. Tall, elongated shapes standing still in the shadows, watching. They do not move when approached, but the moment the light flickers, they vanish. The whispers grow louder, more distinct. Then a single voice breaks through the chaos, heard by every radio, every speaker, and every television still operating. The voice is calm, almost soothing, and it utters only 6 words. You should not have seen this. Chapter 4. Echoes from the Void. Radio signals detect something impossible, messages from beyond the missing stars. Astronomers and researchers begin picking up signals that defy human understanding. They seem to be coming from the empty spaces where stars once shone. The signals contain rhythmic pulses, almost like a language, but they grow more aggressive with each passing day. What was once scientific curiosity turns into terror. The signals are not just being sent, they are responding. When researchers attempt to broadcast simple mathematical sequences into the void, the signals answer back, mirroring and then distorting the patterns in ways that suggest intelligence. The responses become faster, more complex, as if something is learning. Then, strange symbols begin appearing in research logs, patterns that no scientist recalls recording. Some researchers suffer auditory hallucinations, hearing echoes of the transmissions, even when no equipment is active. One astronomer, after staring too long at the signal's waveform, claims to have seen something staring back. Late one night, a new transmission comes through. Clear, deliberate, and undeniable. A single sentence, spoken in a chorus of distorted voices, fills the airwaves. We see you too. Chapter 5. The Black Horizon. Astronomers reveal the terrifying truth. The stars were not extinguished, but devoured. Telescopic analysis confirms the horrifying reality. Some force is consuming the stars, not black holes, not cosmic collapse, but something alive. The universe is being fed upon, and the Earth is next in line. The sky is no longer a celestial wonder, it is a graveyard of devoured light. Further analysis exposes an even graver danger. The pattern of destruction is not random, it is deliberate. Whatever is consuming the cosmos is moving with intent, selecting its targets methodically. Star systems vanish in clusters, as if being harvested. The devoured regions leave behind not emptiness, but a void so absolute that even gravitational forces cease to exist within them. It is not just the light that is being consumed, it is reality itself. Scientists attempt to warn the world, but governments are slow to act. Denial grips those unwilling to accept that Earth may be next. Meanwhile, astronomers begin to notice something even more disturbing. The darkness is spreading at an accelerating rate. Deep space probes sent toward the missing stars cease transmission, as if swallowed whole by an unseen predator. Radio telescopes pick up frequencies that make no sense, signals that seem to pulse like a heartbeat. Then the first physical evidence arrives. A fragment of something unknown hurtles through space, colliding with a research satellite. When recovered, the object defies all known scientific classifications. It is neither rock nor ice nor metal. It pulsates as though breathing. Scientists studying it report strange visions of the missing stars, as if the object carries echoes of what it has consumed. One researcher vanishes without a trace after whispering a single chilling phrase. It knows we're watching. Chapter 6. Figures in the Night. Shadowy beings appear in the perpetual darkness, moving unseen among the frightened. Survivors begin reporting strange figures lurking in the darkness. At first, they are dismissed as hallucinations, tricks of the mind adjusting to the never-ending night. But soon, footage emerges, indistinct shapes moving, watching, reaching. Streetlights flicker and die when they draw near. Those who encounter them up close are never seen again. The sightings become more frequent. Some describe them as tall, impossibly thin silhouettes, their form shifting like smoke. Others insist they have no form at all, just a presence, a suffocating weight in the air, a whisper against the skin. Electronic devices fail in their proximity, as though reality itself distorts around them. Thermal cameras capture only cold voids where they stand, absorbing all light and heat. Scientists struggle to explain their existence, but the evidence is undeniable. Something is here, watching. Entire neighborhoods begin to fall silent overnight. In the morning, homes are found abandoned, doors left swinging open, food still warm on tables. There are no signs of struggle, no traces of the missing. Only the footprints leading into the darkness, ending abruptly as if the earth itself swallowed them whole. Then one survivor returns. A man, pale and trembling, found wandering the streets, his eyes wide with unspeakable terror. He does not respond to questions, only repeating a single phrase over and over. They are waiting for the last light to die. Chapter 7. The Fractured Sky. Survivors notice cracks forming in the heavens, revealing something monstrous beyond. The sky, once thought to be a void, is now visibly breaking apart. The darkness is not just an absence of light, it is a shell, and something underneath it is pushing through. Gigantic, unknowable forms begin to emerge from the fractures. They have been waiting, hidden behind the veil of night, and now they are waking up. At first, the fractures are subtle, thin, jagged lines barely noticeable against the blackened heavens. But as days pass, they widen, revealing glimpses of movement beyond. Shadows twist and coil, forming shapes too vast to comprehend. Some believe them to be tendrils, others the outlines of something watching from beyond the fabric of reality itself. The air grows heavier, charged with an unnatural energy that makes the skin prickle and the mind reel. Telescopes and satellites capture horrifying images. Colossal, shifting entities pressing against the fractures, as if testing their prison. Their forms defy description, appearing as ever-changing masses of eyes, limbs, and voids that do not obey natural geometry. Scientists attempt to analyze their structure but fail, as no human understanding of physics can explain their existence. Religious leaders proclaim the end of days while governments attempt to contain mass hysteria. Some cults form, worshiping the entities as ancient gods, welcoming the coming collapse. Others flee to underground bunkers, believing that whatever lies beyond the fractures will soon descend upon the earth. Then, one night, a piece of the sky falls. It crashes into the ocean, sending tidal waves miles high, disrupting the planet's magnetic field. The event shakes the world, and when the dust settles, an unfathomable truth is revealed. Where the fragment fell, there is now nothing, a gaping void, consuming everything in its path. And from within it, a sound emerges. A low, resonant hum reverberating through every living thing. A call to something greater. A signal that the awakening has begun. Chapter 8. Cities without light. The world's power grids fail mysteriously, leaving humanity stranded in absolute darkness. Governments declare emergencies as entire cities go dark. Generators fail without explanation. Batteries drain instantly. Fire, the oldest human tool, flickers and dies in an impossible way. The last light sources wink out, and the world is plunged into absolute blackness. In the silence, the whispers return, louder this time, and closer. Panic spreads like wildfire, though no fire can be lit. Airports shut down, hospitals collapse into chaos, and the cold grip of fear settles over the world. Scientists and engineers scramble for explanations, but none can be found. The laws of physics themselves seem to be unraveling. The darkness is not merely an absence of light. it is something more, something hungry. Survivors huddle together, clinging to whatever faint sources of light remain. But even glow-in-the-dark objects fade. Phosphorescent materials go dark. Even the stars that should still shine beyond the fractures of the sky are gone. The world is blind, lost in an abyss with no end. Then, the disappearances begin again. Entire buildings are found abandoned, the people within them vanishing without a trace. Homes stand empty with meals half-eaten, doors left ajar. Streets are filled with the remnants of dropped possessions, shoes, purses, cell phones displaying nothing but black screens. Something is moving through the darkness, something unseen but undeniably there. In one city, an emergency broadcast flickers to life on a single remaining radio tower, a voice barely audible over the static. If you can hear this, you are not alone. They are here. Stay away from the dark. They are watching. They are waiting. The transmission cuts off with a chilling silence, and then, across the entire world, a new sound rises. A low, guttural breathing echoing through the pitch-black streets. The whispers have stopped, because now they no longer need to whisper. They are here. Chapter 9. The First Sacrifice. The beings in the night are hungry, and they have begun taking people. Panic spreads as more and more people disappear. Their homes are found empty, their belongings untouched. There are no signs of struggle, only darkness where they once stood. The whispers now carry a chilling message. One by one, you will be taken. At first, the disappearances seem random. Families wake to find a missing child, a spouse gone from the bed where they once slept. Security cameras, once thought to be a source of protection, capture only static. Entire apartment complexes are emptied overnight, their doors swinging open as if something invisible had passed through. Those who attempt to flee into the countryside or deep underground find no sanctuary. The darkness follows, relentless and patient. Governments are powerless. Scientists, priests, and philosophers alike struggle to understand. But then something changes. A new message begins to echo in the void, spoken in many voices, overlapping and inhuman. Give us one, and we will wait. The demand is clear. A sacrifice must be made. If willingly offered, the disappearances may stop, at least for a time. Societies break apart as factions form. Some insist on fighting, though they do not know how. Others believe in negotiation, though they do not know what they bargain with. And then there are those who are willing to choose, willing to offer one of their own, if it means surviving another night. And so the first sacrifice is made. A lone figure, bound and trembling, is left at the center of an abandoned street. They are chosen not by merit or guilt, but by fear. The survivors watch from their hiding places, waiting, breath held tight in their lungs. The whispers cease. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, the world falls into utter silence. The darkness thickens, pulsing like a living thing. And then, without a sound, the figure is gone. No scream, no struggle, just absence. And as if in agreement, the breathing in the darkness fades. The entities retreat, if only for now. The survivors exhale in relief, but deep inside, They all know the truth. This will not be the last sacrifice. Chapter 10. The Forgotten Stars. A hidden manuscript reveals an ancient warning. The stars were never ours to keep. Scholars uncover forbidden texts that speak of a cosmic debt. The stars were not eternal, they were borrowed, and now the time has come for them to be reclaimed. The warnings describe an ancient force, one that watches over the universe and balances its light and darkness. Humanity's time in the light is over. The manuscript, written in a language long thought to be lost, speaks of the first darkness, an age before recorded history when the sky was empty. It tells of a bargain struck in desperation, an agreement forged by the earliest civilizations with entities not of this world. The stars were not merely celestial bodies, but sentinels, watchers placed to keep something at bay. Their glow was a barrier, a safeguard between existence and the void beyond. But humanity in its arrogance had forgotten the pact. We looked to the heavens and saw only beauty, never questioning why the stars remained above us. We named them, mapped them, worshipped them, but we never remembered the cost. Now, as the light fades, the true nature of our debt is revealed. The manuscript details cryptic rituals meant to prolong the stars' presence, ceremonies performed by long-lost civilizations in an attempt to hold back the inevitable. But they were only delaying the end. The final passage of the text, translated with great difficulty, carries a chilling message. The sky is the gate. The stars are the locks. When the last light fades, the gate shall open, and those who wait shall step through. As scholars read the final words, a deep realization takes hold. The darkness is not merely the absence of stars. It is the opening of something vast, something beyond comprehension. And whatever lies beyond has been waiting for a long, long time. Chapter 11. The Midnight Exodus. Those who can flee the cities in search of any remaining light, but nowhere is safe. People migrate in mass numbers, hoping to find regions where the darkness has not yet reached, but every attempt ends in despair. No place is untouched. Even the brightest fires and artificial lights cannot hold back the creeping void. Some give up hope, others prepare for a final stand. The highways become graveyards of abandoned cars, their owners vanished or too weak to continue. Refugees gather in small groups, clutching torches and lanterns that flicker feebly against the consuming dark. Some speak of hidden sanctuaries, places where the last embers of light remain, but no one can agree on where they are. The world is shrinking, swallowed piece by piece by an unseen force that moves faster than anyone can run. Panic turns to superstition. Some believe that darkness is choosing its victims, hunting those who resist. Rumors spread of travelers who vanished the moment they extinguished their lights. Others whisper that the shadows are speaking now, bargaining with those who dare to listen. In the silence of abandoned towns, people claim to hear voices calling their names, urging them to step into the blackness. Desperation breeds new beliefs. Cults begin to form, embracing the darkness as a deity, believing surrender is the only path to salvation. They gather at the edges of the void, chanting in tongues long forgotten, waiting for something or someone to emerge. Others fight back, lighting massive bonfires, carving symbols into the earth, praying to anything that will hear them. But deep down, everyone knows the truth. There is no escape. The darkness is not just coming, it is already here. Chapter 12. The Cosmic Gate Opens. The cracks in the sky widen, unveiling a doorway to an abyss of endless horror. The fractures in the sky are no longer just visible, they are growing. From within them, something vast and alien stirs. The sky itself is peeling away like the husk of an egg, revealing the unthinkable expanse beyond. The entities that devoured the stars have come. At first, the openings reveal only darkness, an abyss deeper than the night itself. Then, things begin to move. Monstrous silhouettes, their forms too immense to comprehend, shift beyond the cosmic veil. Their presence bends reality, warping the air, making the ground tremble beneath unseen pressure. The mere sight of them drives those who look too long into madness, their minds unable to process the sheer magnitude of what they witness. Through the fractures, whispers pour forth, no longer distant murmurs but an overwhelming chorus of voices. They speak in tongues unknown to humanity, a language older than time itself. Those who hear it too closely begin to change, some collapsing in agony, others staring blankly as if their very souls have been rewritten. The lucky ones go silent, the unlucky ones begin to repeat the words, their voices no longer their own. Cities fall into chaos as people realize the truth. This is not an invasion, nor a conquest. It is something far worse. The creatures beyond the cosmic gate do not come to take or to rule. They come because the universe itself is shifting, and humanity is simply in the way. A storm of darkness spills forth from the fractures, devouring everything in its path. No walls, no technology, no force can halt it. Survivors flee blindly, but there is nowhere left to run. The last remaining lights of the world flicker as the void spreads, and then, for the first time, the entities begin to step through. Chapter 13. The Devourers descend. The entities responsible for the missing stars emerge, and they are not merciful. Towering forms, blotting out what little remains of the sky, descend upon the earth. Their presence is suffocating, their hunger endless. Cities crumble in silence. The whispers become roars, the shadows become hands. The end is not coming, it is already here. Those who remain can only watch as the colossal beings step through the fractured sky, their forms twisting and shifting, never fully visible, as though reality itself rejects their presence. They do not walk as men do, nor do they float like specters. Instead, they move in ways that defy comprehension, as though their existence is layered between dimensions. Some appear as vast shadows, stretching across entire landscapes, consuming all in their path. Others are nothing but eyes, thousands of them, watching, judging, devouring. The very fabric of the earth begins to unravel. Gravity bends unpredictably, causing buildings to collapse upward or sink into unseen depths. Time itself fractures. Some people find themselves frozen in place, trapped in an endless moment of horror, while others wither and decay within seconds. Screams fill the air, only to be swallowed by the oppressive silence that follows in the wake of the devourers. Those who resist, who try to run, find the darkness already waiting for them. The entities do not hunt, they do not need to. The moment they are seen, their victims are already lost. They reach with hands made of shadow and void, stripping flesh, memory, existence itself. A touch is annihilation. A glance is erasure. The whispers are now deafening, speaking in tongues that should never be heard by human ears. Some survivors, unable to withstand the voices, claw at their own ears and eyes, desperate to escape the madness. Others, enthralled, step forward willingly, vanishing into the darkness with expressions of blissful surrender. The earth, once vibrant with life, is now a world of silence and shadow. The last remnants of humanity scatter in all directions, but deep down they all know the truth. There is nowhere left to run. The devourers have arrived, and soon nothing will remain. Chapter 14. A Lightless Tomorrow. The last remnants of humanity fight to escape a world where light no longer exists. Small groups of survivors, scattered and desperate, seek shelter where the darkness cannot reach. But there is no such place. The sun is flickering, its glow weak and unstable, casting eerie, dying embers across the ruined landscape. Panic has given way to resignation. Cities stand as hollowed-out graveyards, their once bright streets now lifeless. Survivors move in hushed whispers, fearful that even the smallest sound will draw the attention of the lurking horrors. The air is thick with an unnatural stillness, as if the world itself is holding its breath, waiting for the final moment of extinction. The few scientists and thinkers left scramble for solutions, but what can be done against forces beyond comprehension? Some believe in ancient prophecies, claiming that the darkness is not just the end but a beginning, an evolution into something beyond humanity. Others see the growing void as punishment, a reckoning for mankind's arrogance in believing the stars belong to them. In the deepest corners of the world, where shadows have devoured everything, a new phenomenon emerges. Glowing symbols etched into the air itself. Are they warnings or invitations? Some desperate souls follow these mysterious runes, vanishing into the abyss never to be seen again. The final hour is near. The last light of the world is fading, and soon Earth will be as empty as the sky above. The devourers, now fully revealed, stand at the precipice of their feast. Humanity's story is coming to its final sentence, written in the ink of darkness. Chapter 15. The New Constellations. A final, chilling revelation. The stars are returning, but they are no longer what they were. Just when all hope seems lost, tiny points of light begin to emerge in the sky. But these are not the stars that were taken. They do not twinkle, they do not move, they watch. And as the last humans look up, they realize they are not alone. The stars have changed. And so has the universe. At first, the lights appear faint, barely visible against the consuming darkness that had swallowed the cosmos. They grow steadily brighter, forming unfamiliar constellations, shapes that do not match any known star charts. Some believe it is a sign of hope, a cosmic reset. But those who stare too long into the new heavens feel something staring back, a pressure in their minds, an unbearable presence. like unseen fingers tracing the edges of their thoughts. The whispers, once distant murmurs, now resonate in every shadow. They no longer beg or threaten, they instruct. The survivors who remain feel the change within themselves, an understanding, a purpose not their own. Their dreams are no longer their own. They wake with knowledge they should not possess, memories of a world they have never known. The sky is no longer a celestial void. It is a gateway, and something from beyond is using it to look in. Some claim the earth itself has become a part of something greater, an extension of whatever force reclaimed the stars. The last remaining scientists record patterns in the sky, attempting to decipher the meaning behind the shifting constellations. But before they can share their findings, they vanish, leaving behind notebooks filled with symbols too alien to comprehend. The last light of the human race flickers in abandoned cities, where the shadows move with purpose. Some survivors choose to accept the change, letting the new knowledge consume them. Others resist, but resistance is futile. The darkness is not simply around them, it is within them. As the final dawnless night stretches on, the new constellations pulse, as if breathing in unison. The universe has been rewritten, and humanity is no longer the author of its own story. They are the characters, the observers, the observed, and the stars will never be the same again.